What's up, y'all? Welcome back, man. It's your boy D-Friend. We back for another episode number 96 of D-Friend Daily. We got a short episode, couple things to talk about just to get back in the swing of things. I've been gone all week. Had shit going on. Had the baby showers, getting a baby. You see I'm in a new space. I had to create an entirely new space. Obviously, the wall's going to be filled up with shit eventually, but I had to go out and create an entire new space for the show. So we got a lot of things to get into. One thing that I really want to get into is the Flagrant 2 thing, because it's just interesting to me to see men talk to other men about things that they say on their shows, because I feel like I kind of lean to the Flagrant 2 side of things whenever it comes to the Fresh and Fit guys. But we'll get into that. I got a little montage clip that I'm going to show. We also got Stephen A. almost died from COVID, according to him. Right? According to him, he almost died from COVID. But, sometimes when I see celebrities, it makes me a little bit jaded towards it. But we'll get into that as well. And some other things like a man being exonerated from a horrific crime. Well, not exonerated by the law, but by a lie detector test, and the woman came out and she apologized. So we'll get into that as well. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes for the entire audio versions of the podcast that will be there for you guys. So without further ado, let's hop right into the main story, because that's really what I want to get to. So Fresh and Fit, obviously, with viral, Shade Room, put them on another level. And salute to them, because like I said, when you are in the media, the best thing for you, honestly, is to be a polarizing figure, because the people who love you probably aren't going to really talk about you as much. They might share your content here and there, but the people that hate you, they're always going to share your shit. Think about it like this. In popular media figures today, let's say Joe Rogan's, who else? Like just people on the right, the people on the right that are really popular, right? You don't really see people who support them posting their content. It's people that hate them that repost their content in an attempt to, tamper them down and shit on them, but they still repost it. People see it. It brings more eyes and viewers to them, because whether you know it or not, when you're reposting somebody you hate, you might be exposing someone to something they might like. So regardless if you hate them or love them, if you repost somebody, you'll probably stumble on some people that fuck with their content. So really, it's like a double-edged sword. So that's how it is for Fresh and Fit, right? They get posts on there. They've been growing in subscribers since that point, right? So it's good for them. So they went on a media tour. They went to New York. They sat down with Flagrant 2. They sat down with academics. The academics one with Brittany Renner didn't really too much pique my interest. Like, Brittany Renner's on this side, they're on this side. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. I've always said I wanted to see them sit down with regular guys and see what they think about their thoughts. And that's what we got, in my opinion, with Flagrant 2. So this is a montage clip of pretty much almost all of the, kind of combatant things that were discussed when it came to Fresh and Fit. And really Akash. Andrew, I understand that as a host, you don't want to be too, overbearing. You don't want to be too unwelcoming. So he's playing the good cop role, and Akash is like, I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to make the statements that I feel. So that's what happens in this clip. Let's take a listen.
You guys have established yourselves as role models, from simps to pimps, which is another motto I find kind of corny, but I looked into what you guys are about. And a lot of the shit is just childish, which is fine if you want to be funny. We just talked about how doctors ain't shit for 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. We are not in any way life coaching. We are not in any way trying to help men outside of, hey, come have a laugh for a couple hours. Right. If you're going to paint yourself as life coaches and then say shit like, I just don't really fuck with black girls like that. I guess I saw a clip where you were like, oh, the nuclear family's falling apart. What do you do? I don't get married. Just don't get married. You're actually trying to help men, or are you talking to fucking incels who are 18 years old? You know what I mean? That's some shit you say to college. I'm going to turn you from a simp to a pimp. All right, bro. Can we grow up? You guys are self-help. Hey, we're trying to help men. So either we're funny or help men, and be real and be honest with yourselves, and don't have an ego like, I have a preference. Be honest. Have an honest conversation. And I don't think the manosphere or manaverse or whatever, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think there are people who are doing it really well. The roommates, Hafiz, that's who put me on to you guys. Great. But let's just be mature about what we feel. And part of that maturity is, it was a bad joke. I don't actually feel exactly that way.
I mean, if you guys feel that way, that's fine. But we make our content, you know what I'm saying? People enjoy it. We make jokes on it. We provide entertainment. We provide education. We do everything. In this world, it's either pimp or be pimped. Yeah. So if we can arm guys with the tools.
What is that, dog? That's what I'm saying. Your views are very black and white. You're too old to be thinking like this.
Hey, man. Well, we can have different worldviews. But if we look at it, it's pimp or be pimp, baby. So I'd rather equip the guys with the tools so they can go out there and navigate the dating marketplace
don't
in a
wanna
way
pimp.
where
Yeah,
they
you
won't
don't
get
think that's
finessed.
a dangerous mindset for the world to have?
Did I pimp my wife?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Or
Hey,
is she
man.
pimping you?
Whoever cares less has the leverage, and we want the guy to always care less. We want the man
wild.
to always
That's
have the leverage.
childish as fuck.
And
bro.
you guys might not like hearing
is
that.
childish.
But we truly feel.
I'm not.
that you
These aren't
have to-
new beliefs, bro. You're not telling me some shit none of us have ever heard. We all heard this from fraternity guys in college. I'm saying there's room in and I don't have a problem with a lot of the stuff you say. I just think there's room for growth. And you guys' refusal to acknowledge it almost kind of proves it to me, confirms it to me that you guys are not willing to grow right now. And that's fine. That's some ego shit. We're just saying there's room for growth. A very mature answer is, yeah, probably. If you say that to me, I'm sure I got room to grow. Y'all are literally saying, nah, we know how it is. We're in Miami. I bet if you go to Idaho and see only 2 bitches are getting flown out of Idaho, you'd be like, oh, the world isn't like this. We're just asking you to look and take an assessment of what you say and what you spread and be like, okay, maybe there's room for growth. And y'all ain't willing to do that for an hour and a half.
I mean, I truly feel that
That's your opinion, bro.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
See what I'm saying?
All right, so that's pretty much like some of the main criticisms I saw when I was watching the Flagrant 2 podcast. And I agree with a lot of that shit because, like, when I hear things like most women, these people, these, that, I just really err on the side of I don't typically believe that. And I can even bring that over like politics, right? When you see shit that articles that come out and it'll say 60% of Americans are cool with the Civil War. Did my thing freeze on me? My camera freeze? No. Don't tell me that happened. If it died, it died. I'm just gonna go, no, it's not dead. Why'd it do that? Anyways, if you can hear me, you can hear me. Fuck it. I'll fix the camera in a second. But when I see those things like that, they're really hyperbolic. 70% of Americans are cool with the Civil War taking place in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm like, is that really 60% of Americans? And I know statistics, they gotta get a certain amount of group of people, and they use that group of people to really push their whatever narrative, whatever they want to do. But when I think of most women, I would assume most women are just like regular chicks that want to get married, right? And what they're telling them is, and which is what I believe, that's why I wish they would talk to regular guys, because there's other things in the podcast as well, where they're like, y'all never just had broke friends that got pussy, that they didn't have to try as hard. To me, it seems like they have to do leaps and bounds to get women. When you're in college, when you're just a regular person, you go to a regular place, guys can get chicks at the bar without having to be the richest guy in the bar. They can do these things without all this extra tactics and deception and these things of that nature. And that's why I said I want to see them sit down with regular people, because when they talk to regular people, a lot of their ideas, like Akash said, look childish. Simps to pimps. If you're not getting pimped, you're getting simped or whatever. I think this shit like that's corny, like he said. And I've been saying this since the beginning. But also, I can acknowledge that everyone, because like I think what Fresh and Fit is, I think they don't see nuance in situations. They're like really literal, and if this stat says this is the way it is. I can pull this stat out of my back pocket. Like that's how it is in politics as well. Like they can pull the stat out of their back pocket, but they don't see the gray. Like he said, it's black and white. There's no nuance to it. None of things like that. Also, y'all are speaking about Miami. Y'all live in Miami. Of course, y'all are around a bunch of girls in Miami that want to be around a bunch of famous rappers and shit like that. If you go to regular places in small towns, name it small towns, even major cities that have bars, lounges, there's regular girls in there mingling with regular guys, right? That's what I see. I don't go out all fucking time, but when I go out, that's what I see. But I can also acknowledge that Akash in this thing said he's been with his girl for 6 years. Andrew just got married to his girl. The other guy said he's been married for 7 years. I've been with my wife, not married, but been with her for 7 years. So this is where the nuance part comes in, or the other thought processes. All of us that are speaking to them, well, I'm not speaking to them, but all of us that have that thought process that they do, we're not in the dating market right now. Maybe the dating market is a little bit crazy. Maybe there are a lot of women that just want millionaire, billionaires, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, that isn't most women. There's a select, probably 20% that are like that. Yeah. And that's due to social media, probably mainly due to social media, but also just through nature and life. Everybody wants security, especially women. They want security. I can never going to debate that. Oh, the women, they want rich guys because they want security. Now, do I think that some people have a hyper inflated sense of what security actually is? Like if you told someone right now, I think I did a poll like a while ago, like, what amount of money would you need to make each year for you to feel like you're set, right? Would it be 50,000 to 100,000? Would it be 150 to 300, or would it be like $1 million and up? And most people put they need to feel comfortable, they need $1 million and up. But also, I think that comes with financial knowledge, and most people don't even know what 100,000 a year would actually look like when it enters their bank account. And they would probably realize that when that $100,000 enters their bank account, oh, I can live a pretty good life with this amount of money. That's the other thing as well. Also, people want to look good for social media. So the women that go on these guys' shows may say that, oh, I want a millionaire, bajillionaire. But at the end of the day, and we see it all the time in regular life, they're going home and sleeping with, getting married with the regular motherfucker that lives in their town. Because in reality, they're not going to get the big baller. Yeah, they'll say that it's cute for the show, but in reality, you're going to go home and be with the guy that you probably knew since high school, the guy you probably met last week at a bar that you've been dating and he's cool and all those things like that. So it's just real interesting for them to sit down and talk to regular people, in my opinion. Yeah, obviously Andrew Schultz is famous. Akash is like parallel famous, obviously not as famous as Andrew Schultz, but they're pretty well-known people. And they also live in a major city. New York is a major city, but it just shows that we see things a lot differently, right? So that's really that, and that's always my thing with Fresh Fit. Like, even like I saw that. Let me see this comment right here from True Boss said, "Have them sit down with regular guys is exactly what I thought. I don't want to hear nothing with Act and Fresh and Fit. They didn't mess with women until they got rich." And I'm not even gonna say like I'm the greatest looking guy. Like, oh, if I was single, I'd be pulling all the da-da-da-da-da. But I don't think I would go down that lane of like the whole like, oh, it's me versus them. It's hunt or be hunted and whatever type of narratives these guys got. I just don't. I tend to believe that that's not the majority. I'm not gonna go out and fucking say there's no women that think like that, because I'd be a fucking idiot. I know there's women like that. I know that there's women that scheme and plot on niggas. We see, hey, cut the condom. I don't know if that. I doubt that Drake hot sauce story is real, but there is women that do shit like that. I'm not gonna say that. But when I hear people say words like majority, like, I tend not to believe that. I tend to believe majority of people would like to live that lifestyle, but at the end of the day, most people do come back to reality, and they kind of, I don't want to say settle with, but they kind of go with what's in their immediate circle. Just like the wild, right? A woman, or let's say a lioness, obviously is going to want to go for the lion with the big, nice mane, the big white fangs. Like, he looks powerful, right? Let's just say, I'm sure y'all can understand this. Have you ever seen Lion King 2, right? Whenever the black lions come out, you got Kovu, who's the youngest brother. He got the big mane. He grew up. He looks like a lion that women want to be with. And then you got the brother, who's the older brother, but he look all scruffy. He don't really got the fucking mane. Naturally, people are going to want that. But after a while, they're going to have to realize that they might not be able to get that. And I hear them preach that message, but I just feel like most people tend to go back to whatever is normal for them in that instance. They think like that because they never was ever able to get women before they had money in public. And that's also possibly a skewed view of the world. That could be, let's be honest, especially like a guy like Fresh, right? And I'm not like shaming, oh, you're ugly. He's not, I can sit here and say, whatever somebody's like, oh, you can tell like that's a good looking dude, right? Fresh probably wouldn't get no girls before he acquired whatever he's acquired. And that's fine, because some men, they have to acquire things in life to get to a certain status. There's plenty. When you see Harvey Weinstein, I don't got to use Fresh. When you see Harvey Weinstein with beautiful women, it ain't because Harvey Weinstein was a good looking guy. He was a powerful, rich Hollywood elite. We see it all the time. Ugly ass dudes with fine ass women. We know how that works. We know why they're sitting next to those people. But like they say, statistically, there ain't too many rich guys. So most people would be with regular people on a day-to-day basis. And I would assume that, like they say, it's harder now to get women because they got money or they got a show. But I can guarantee you, he was probably getting a lot more girls now than he would have if he was a regular guy working a 9-to-5 job. And had to actively go out. I can't go out with my chain on. I can't go out with my watch on. I can't pull up in my Lamborghini truck. A Walmart watch on, and okay, now this is me. No. So that is also another way that skews their view. Now, Myron, he's a tall dude. He's not a fucking hideous looking guy. He worked in law enforcement. I'm not gonna say that he couldn't get chicks, but he still did corny shit. Because I seen a video. Y'all can look this shit up. Where there was a guy who was like, he's a pickup artist or some shit. Even that shit's cringy too. Like he's a self-proclaimed, not Myron, but the other guy's a self-proclaimed pickup artist, some shit. Myron DM'd him like a stat sheet. I moved to Miami 3 months ago. I've had, what was it, like 250 lays. Like lays is sex with women. I'm like, these niggas act like this is like this is their NBA finals. Every day is a game to see if I could drop 20 to 30 points. Motherfucker, just go and live a regular life. It's okay to go live a regular life. You don't have to be infatuated with dating, relationship, women, this and that. Like, just go be regular. Right? And the reason they have a big audience is because a lot of guys that, you know, are probably in that lane. I'm not saying their entire audience is fucking loser incel people. Not saying that. There could be a lot. Probably is a lot. But like I said, I feel like the draw is there's a lot of guys in their thing that probably have been done wrong by women, or they feel like certain women that should be on their level don't want to deal with them because women have, that they say in their thing, have a hyperinflated sense of what they should be getting. They feel slighted. They end up disliking women. They see Fresh and Fit as, you know, role models and leaders in this movement, because the thing about Myron is he's really smart. He's made his mission. I am for the men, right? I am going to fight for you. So a lot of the guys that follow him, like, Myron's going to fight with us to the end. So the whole will you guys grow thing, that's out the question. They're not going to grow. There's no reason for them to grow. Their audience likes them for who they are. There's no reason for them to change into something else. But that's when you get the classic Charlemagne the God line, you become a caricature of yourself. Like 5 years from now, will this still be the same game, or will you have elevated in any way, shape, or form past that? Or will that always be you? But like I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If your audience fuck with it, keep it rocking, keep it moving. And that's most likely what they're going to do. So it's smart when you can latch onto an ideal, a thing like that, and you look like you're never wavering, never changing. So the people who come to your platform are always going to know what they're going to get. They stay, and they fuck with you. And obviously, they pay you handsomely for it. I've seen their lives before. Their super chat, $100, $500, $50, $100, $100. Like people are paying these guys a lot of money to provide the content that they're providing for. But also the guys do like it that these two guys, who probably before were just regular, everyday guys, got too successful. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. You should want to be as successful as possible. Got successful. And now they're able to talk to these women that are on these panels in a way that a lot of the guys that are watching at home wish they could talk to women on a daily basis. So they're essentially, their audience is essentially living out their dreams through Myron and Fresh. I'm a regular guy. Women overlook me. But if I can be like these guys, and then I can start talking, like that's what I feel like. Honestly. That's how I feel, honestly. Let's read some of the chats. They think, oh no, because I read that one. True Boss says, it's not even about looks, bro. I'm from BX. We look like damn gorillas, but we all have personality and we are humble dudes. We try to go out and pursue women. I could be dead wrong, but a dude like Myron just comes across like a dude that expects women to bow before him. And I feel like that's a part of his shtick. That's a part of that's a part of his thing, right? Also, he says, I don't know, he's like in the episode I watched Flagrant, he doesn't really follow it, but in those, you know, in his culture of being Sudanese, Muslim, the women typically do that. So you also got to think of where people come from. Like I said, there's a bunch of nuance to shit. People just want to see it like from, is this and is that, right? This is what it is all the time, always. Myron's from the Sudan. Well, came over here early. His dad came, he was born here, but his dad probably still had those, you know, that culture instilled within him. I've heard him say before that his mother wants him to like marry a Sudanese woman. And in their culture, that's probably that the women do bow down and are submissive. Because you could probably talk to a lot of guys from Middle Eastern countries. And there's actually a movie about this where there's a Middle Eastern guy. He comes to America, marries an American woman, tells her, hey, let's go visit my family in XYZ Middle Eastern country, and he traps her there because over there, the women, they are whatever stereotypical thing that women are supposed to be. That's what they are in those countries. Don't talk, do this when I say do this, go tend to the kid, clean, like to an more extreme level. So you also got to think of where people come from. So that's probably why he's more on that tip, right? Fresh is more to me the guy, like he got the money, so now he's, he does what he does when it comes to women and things of that nature. But like I said, it's all just good publicity for them. It's really in today's society, it's really not too much bad publicity you can get unless, like I said, your audience is the one that is going against you and canceling you. People thought when this black woman thing came out that, this is going to be another thing for Fresh and Fit. They're going to lose a lot of subscribers. I was like, no, they're not. Shade Room isn't their audience. They don't give a fuck. Now, when they was going against Abba and Preach, when they were going against Playback, there may have been some overlapping of the audience, and then that's when people picked a side. And in that instance, it seemed like a lot more people was picking the Abba and Preach side than the Fresh and Fit side. But if it's somebody outside of their demographic that comes at them, it ain't really too much that people are going to be able to do to cancel these guys as long as the audience fucks with them. And like I said, I don't think they should be canceled. Like what happened with Akash and Flagrant, that's what should happen. Get on, debate ideals, talk about them, filter them out. That's the best way. That's the best content to me. That's why I like this one more than the Brittany Renner one. That's more like a volleyball back and forth. Like that's more like what they do on their channel. This one's like a different one. Just guys talking about guy shit. I don't agree with that. I agree with that. That's cool. That's corny. Like I think that's more of a productive conversation, right? So, my bad. I'm just reading something. And also, I'm not trying to there's also somebody else. These guys aren't as bad as one chick I just seen who says some wild shit. I seen this one chick. Her name is Cynthia G. She was saying that like black women should just start aborting when they find out that they're having a black son. They should start aborting. Like, what are they doing for society? But hurting us, black women. We should just be aborting them as soon as we find out that we're having a black son. And she's saying this shit like this is my thing. Like I can't say certain shit about COVID, but she can say black women should abort black men on YouTube. Talking about like a mass genocide of black men as soon as you find out that they're within your womb. But I can't talk about like COVID and shit like that without fear of taking my shit down. Think about that. That's fucking insane. So yeah, Fresh and Fit may say some wild shit. They may say shit that's cringe, pimps to simps. Like you're 30. Like when you're 30, it kind of looks like they were like 20. Like if they're like Kodak Black, like these younger rap guys' ages, just young people in general's ages. But when you're like 31, you feel like you've experienced a lot of life. Certain shit just looks kind of corny. It's okay to say something looks corny. So anyways, so y'all got on that. That's all y'all's thoughts on that one. All right. So speaking of COVID, right? Stephen A. Smith came out and said he almost died from it. Stephen A. Smith said he was on his deathbed essentially with COVID-19. And Candace Owens, she had to laugh about. Before we get to Candace, let's see what Stephen A. had to say about his bout with COVID.
In a lot of cases, that was the case. In my case, it was totally different. I had 103-degree fever every night. Woke up with chills and pool of sweat. Headaches were massive, coughing profusely. And it got to a point that right before New Year's Eve, I was in the hospital New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. That's how I brought in the new year. And they told me, had I not been vaccinated, I wouldn't be here. That's how bad I was. I had pneumonia in both lungs. My liver was bad, and it ravaged me to the point where even now I have to monitor my volume. Got to get in the gym every day, walk before you run, and work your way back because I'm still not 100% with my lungs, but I'm COVID negative and all of that stuff, and I'm on the road to recovery. But if it wasn't for several doctors like Dr. Booth, Dr. Spivak, Dr. Charno, and others, I wouldn't.
So I'm not the guy to sit there and say Stephen A. Smith is lying, right? But whenever I see influential people, and they're regular people said at the end of the day, but when I see influential people say shit like that, the doctors told me if I didn't get the vaccine, I'd be dead right now. It always feels like a paid for by Pfizer. That's what it feels like, right? So Candace Owens took issue with this, right? So Candace Owens is definitely like, she don't fuck with the vaccine, right? And that's her prerogative. I don't, she don't fuck with it. That's her thing. Shouldn't be shamed for it. Shouldn't be whatever. She don't fuck with it. So this is what she had to say about Stephen A. Smith and his COVID bout. Stephen A. Smith caught COVID, was hospitalized with severe symptoms, and almost died. He believes that this is proof that the vaccine he received worked because he only almost died. We did it, y'all. We've reached peak stupidity as a species. She also said this, 2020, get vaxxed. And this, hey, hold on, let me pause it. YouTube algorithm moderators. I am reading a tweet from the Candace Owens. These views are not the views of this channel because, like I said, last time I spoke about Candace Owens and COVID, they took my video down and tried to get me with a strike. But anyways, 2020, get vaxxed so you won't catch or spread it. 2021, you can still catch and spread it, but won't get severely ill or hospitalized. 2022, so you caught it and were hospitalized, but at least you didn't die. Next, you can still die, but expect minimal suffering, safe and effective. So obviously that's like a troll into what could happen in 2023, but I kind of get what she's saying in a way, because essentially in the beginning, before it was rolled out, was, hey, get this, you'll never get it again, you'll never spread it, you'll be great, your life will be amazing, wonderful, you can go back to living your life. Then it became, well, okay, you can catch it, you can spread it, but we'll give you a booster and you'll be good. Then it was, hey, if you take this booster, you won't get this one. Then now, 3 months later, it's, hey, we got another booster specifically for this one that everybody's already gotten, and the numbers are going down, the cases are going down. We're not even really hearing about people speak about it as much. UK lifted all their restrictions, like no mask mandates, no vaccine, you got to get in here to do this, right? They haven't worried about shit no more. But we still are. And I do feel like as time goes on, it's all politics at the end of the day. It's not a real fear. It's not a real, they want to help you, they want to save you. It's politics at the end of the day. Right? And that's what you see now. And I'll get back to the Candace Owens and Stephen A thing. But as far as politics in general, that's the way the shit works. Hey, what can we do that we think is going to be good for us? We think people are really scared of COVID. We think lockdowns will help us with poll numbers. If they didn't think it would help them with like votes, they wouldn't do it. They thought it would help with votes, but I think for them, it probably possibly did against Donald Trump because everybody was scared. But now y'all are continuing it on when people aren't scared anymore. So now, and then more information is coming out. People are actually seeing that, oh, you can get COVID and catch it and spread it and do these things like that. Why are we still doing this again? Then it looks like y'all just want control. That's what it looks like. So that's why I think now you're not really hearing about it as much because the science isn't really backing up the case of, hey, you should still be very fearful of this thing. Because the Omicron didn't overwhelm with the amount of deaths that they probably thought they probably wanted. I mean, I'm not going to say they wanted, but you get what I'm saying. So now it's, like I said, I'm about to get back to Candace Owens, but now it is, oh, shit. They fuck with the vote. Now it's voting rights. And I think that voting rights are important. If there's any place in America that's trying to, put down people from voting, I think that's disgusting because that's what, America, we're built on democracy, voting, these things like that. But now that's the thing. Their reasoning for losing, because I've been saying this since last year, the Democrats 2022, unless something traumatic happens to sway people's opinion, they're probably going to get wiped out in the 2022 elections, right? Midterm, House reshuffle, Senate reshuffle, they're probably going to get washed due to the overextension of COVID policies. Because like I've said many times, when you start affecting people that don't really give a fuck about politics day to day, you start affecting their lives personally, they're going to look up, they're going to see who's in power, who's doing this to me, and then I'm not going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for the other guy that isn't doing these things to me. Because they're not really politically like into it. They're just looking at, hey, this person prevented me from going to work. This person's the reason my business shut down. I don't really know this guy's politics, but all I know is hear him saying is he's not for whatever's tampering me down. I'm over that guy. Abortion, all that shit y'all care about, I don't give a fuck about. The border wall, this shit y'all give a fuck about, I don't give a fuck about. I give a fuck about my business staying open. I give a fuck about going to work. I give a fuck about being able to go out with my family without having, the vaccine cards and all these things like that. Because look, in New York, these people trying to get into the museum. In New York City, like a couple of yesterday or the day before, they're trying to get to the museum. The police detained them and a child because they didn't have the card. I don't know if they arrested them, booked them. I don't think they did all that. But still, they detained them and held them because they didn't have this. In the wave of COVID, where we've seen that it's not as severe as all the other ones. That's where I think they fucked up. That's where I feel like they dropped the ball. FreshandFit teaches dudes to be entitled weirdos, wrapped in a package with a bow tied around it, label it being an alpha. And also, this just speak about that real quick because I'm kind of all over the place today. This first podcast back, we rocking. Fuck it. I was thinking about that today. If you feel like you're an alpha because of the information, thoughts, and whatever you got from these guys' podcasts, and you follow them like you're like a devout follower, you're not an alpha person. Because, like I said, we can bring it to nature. There's a lion who is the top of the whatever they call lion. I don't know. I don't think they call them packs, but you know what I mean. And you follow that line, and you're like the second tier, third tier. You're not an alpha. That guy's the alpha. That's just bringing it back to nature. But anyways. Give them an inch, they take a mile. I seen that clip as well. Wild shit. 6-year-old girl, they did arrest him. Straight sick fucks up in NY. So they did arrest him. I guess where I seen they just detained him. But even like putting handcuffs on children is wild. Trying to get to the museum. Do something productive, do something nice. But then we see, like I said, fucking with people that don't want to be fucked with. We see Los Angeles. It's a piece of shit. Have y'all seen the railroads in Los Angeles? Like Jesus, there's just boxes and boxes of just trash. A city of angels and beautifulness, Hollywood, this and that, has completely turned into shit. DAs. Now, I know everybody, George Soros conspiracy, but if George Soros is funding these DAs that are allowing the criminal justice systems in these places to go to shit, who do we point to but that? I saw a thing where a guy, he even said it himself. He was surprised by the sentence he got because there's a very progressive DA. I forgot where it was at. He burned down a house with people inside of it. Burned down a house with his ex-girlfriend with people inside of it. Knew they were inside of it. Burned it down. So obviously was wanting to kill. If I burn a house down with people inside of it, and this ain't no insurance claim shit. I'm trying to kill these people. He got 6 months because they said, we probably shouldn't give him this amount of time and this and that. And I think that's one of those instances where it's like, obviously we've seen as Black people that there's been a lot of injustice in the criminal justice system, right? So I feel like people's ideal is just to go to extreme overhaul. It's just like anybody, just fuck it. Lenient sentences, let people get out, no bail, no nothing, fuck it, whatever. This is the way to combat historical bads and wrongs that have been done. It's to just go completely against like justice shit and just allow people to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like I think in LA as well. You can steal $950 worth of shit and not get in trouble. As long as it's not over $950, you're good. Imagine as a business, that's the policy. I wouldn't want to have a business there. Because that means people can just run up in my shit. I know you got, they got insurance or that, whatever the fuck. Run up my shit, just steal under $950, walk away, and be all right. And people like the mayor of Chicago would tell the people, look, I'm going to a whole fucking rant, but hey, this is the way the conversation went. The mayor of Chicago would tell the businesses that they're not doing enough to protect their business. And like I said in that video, when I did that, okay, if anybody run up in my shit and steal something, I just kill them. And I shoot them. Fuck it. I'm going to handle it myself. Y'all ain't going to handle it? Fuck it. I'll handle it. And I would have no problem with that. Now, I know people are stealing because of poverty. That's not the case. I don't feel like most of that's the case. A lot of people are just doing this to do it because it's easy. You can get away with it, especially now in a lot of these places, a lot of these major cities. So I know I was talking about the Candace Owens and Stephen A. shit, but when you get to rolling, you get to rolling. So that's just how I feel about all of that. That's how I see all that playing out. And I think Candace Owens is right now. I don't know if there's ever going to be a point where people who get vaccinated are actually dying from COVID. I don't think that's ever going to be the case. I do think it does work to prevent death. But, you know, like what Stephen A. saying, oh, the doctor told me that if I wasn't vaccinated, I'd be dead. They don't really know that you'd be dead. Now, he is older and this and that, yada, yada, yada. But I think that's the thing. You come on TV, you say that. You look cool, you look good, whatever, whatever. And that's how the cookie crumbles. So last thing we're going to get about here. So I did a video a couple months back. It was about an OTF rapper who was tied to Lil Durk, yada, 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 named Duty Low. This woman who's also a rapper, FT and Bay, she came out. She said, my son said he sexually assaulted him. That's what she said. He sexually assaulted me. Or he sexually assaulted her son, who's a child. Went crazy, went wild. People were talking about it. I spoke about it. I said, damn, you know, it's kind of, she had a video of her son saying that he did it. But also in that clip of her son, she kind of, it did look like she potentially was coaching him to say this and that. So I guess they've been going through this entire legal battle leading up to this, right? And now he's finally taking the lie detector test that she asked for. She asked for a lie. She said, I'll take lie detector test, you take lie detector test. And he passed. And this is the video that came out after he passed.
I'm going to publicly apologize and say that, you know, he finally took a lie detector test. It took a while. It didn't have to take so long. Like, I never was trying to ruin his career or trying to get clout or nothing. I just believed my son. I really believed him. And I just was going to do whatever I could for my son. Like, I was going to slide for my son, however that means. And you know, he dealt with it in his own ways. But finally, we came to an understanding and agreement, and he decided to take the test, and he did it. And it's done. It's over with. He passed his test. My son told the truth. And that's it. That's all she.
So now she's saying that, and I know I'm frozen because I hit the thing, but now she's saying that her son lied. The Duty Low guy did not do it, right? In this video that we're seeing. And he's, in her mind, is exonerated, right? And everybody was getting on her ass. Oh, look what you did. This is what happens. Why I can't believe this. Da, da, da. This is why a lot of people are slow to believe, like, especially claims of sexual assault, because they are more like a he said, she said. We really don't know. We've seen the long history of how that could be very damaging to a lot of people's livelihood. So we kind of, you know, pause for the cause when it comes to certain topics like that. But I'm not going to penalize her. If this was not out of being vindictive, right? If she wasn't coaching her son, it wasn't nothing like that, and she just believing her kid, I can sympathize with that. Because if my kids ever come to me and tell me, hey, X, Y, and Z did this to me, I'm going to believe them. And I would assume if you had a kid and they told you that, you would probably believe them as well. So she made the video. She apologized. She said her son ended up like confessing, like, oh, it wasn't him, da 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 da. But now for some reason she's like backtracking on it. I don't know if it's because the backlash she's getting, and some people can't really take that backlash. Oh, you're a liar. You're a bitch. You did this. You tried to ruin his life. Da da da. Now she's backtracking on it. Now she's still saying she wants to prosecute. So she still wants justice. She believes her son. She believes the other person who also said that he did something to him like that. It's like, she's like, now you're flip-flopping on social media. First of all, that's cool. You can do that on social media. We'll just pull it up in court. So if she thought that she was ever going to be able to get a conviction on the Duty Low guy, and if he did really do it to her son, he should be in prison. Fuck him, if it was true. But now with the new things that we know, the video she posts on social media, and now she's attempting to backtrack. I don't know if she's trying to save face for herself. Like, well, no, I made that video because I feel like he pressured me to make that video. That's the thing. Like he forced my hand to make that video after he passed the lie detector test. He was on the phone, like threatening me and threatening the kid, whatever, shit like that. That's her stance now. In court, you're gonna look like an unreliable witness. Like you flip flop. You made this video. You say you're coerced, but now you're saying you want to prosecute. Now you believe your son, but then you said your son lied. It's like it's too much for if this really did happen. The Duty Low guy is gonna kind of get out of it unscathed. And now for social media, that's all all social media needed for that would be that video she made to kind of like exonerate this guy in the court of public opinion. Because a lot of people feel like in today's day and age, that's really the only court that matters. as long as the court of public opinion fuck with me, it don't even matter unless you get severely punished in actual court and go to prison. But yeah, that's pretty much that. So this is the first episode back. We back in again. I feel what I might. We might do a podcast tomorrow. I got a lot of shit to do. Me and like a real one, not the versus shit. Absolutely sure we might do one, but UFC 270s tomorrow night. And I'm definitely not trying to miss that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. So appreciate you guys for watching, for listening. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe right now. Audio version, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. Just search up D-Friend Daily over there, and you'll find those. Follow me on social media, D-Friend Daily on Instagram, and D-Friend_ on Twitter. Send me stories, send me links. Fuck it, talk, whatever. Don't matter. Follow me there. I'll see you guys next time.